was reminding me, someone, a young Indian working in her own company, was one of the victims of 9/11. Indians, Americans, and very many other nationalities who were affected. It's a global problem, it's a scourge, and we must all fight it unitedly. So that was a very important message to convey, and my colleagues and I did that.
Of course, Mr. Tharoor, it was a world tragedy, and you forget that there were 8 Pakistanis, at least 8, more than 8 Pakistanis, some firstborn of their mothers, and their tales were published everywhere. We lost Pakistanis, and it was a tragedy of world proportions. You also conveniently forget that it was Pakistan that provided its military bases for the operation against the Taliban. It was Pakistan which was the frontline state in fighting the perpetrators of 9/11. It was Pakistan that provided logistics. It was Pakistan that was the frontline ally of the US in fighting this tragedy. Pakistan condemns who did 9/11, and we were at the forefront. After the US, it was Pakistan that fought the war with its people, with its logistics, with its partnership with the US.
We had not perhaps braced ourselves sufficiently for the malign influences in our neighborhood that did not want that story, to that narrative to be told in an uninterrupted manner.
Absolutely wrong. If you are alluding to Pakistan, Pakistan would be very happy to see India shine and also go away from its anti-Pakistan narrative. Pakistan has no malign influence on your country, sir. You don't even figure in our national elections. Relations with India are not a part of any of our election manifestos or public opinion or talking points internally. Yet, every election of yours, it's been 11 years since Mr. Prime Minister Modi came into power, and every election has Pakistan. Every election is preceded by an attack on Pakistan on one pretext or the other, or with hostilities to Pakistan. We would like you to shine. And it's very strange that a decade long, you say, I'll come into that later, that a terrorist incident took place in 2016, then in 2019, then in 2025. My God, it seems that a decade passes, half a decade passes before suddenly you use one incident against Pakistan very conveniently before an election, a provincial election or a national election. So we have absolutely no designs on you. We don't want to be like you. We do not want to punish most of our people who follow a different religion in Pakistan. We want to be all inclusive. We've taken measures for that. We don't want to go to your path of going against the biggest minority in your country.
We had been seeing in Jammu and Kashmir, which, as you know, has for the long time been coveted by our neighbors on the other side, Pakistan.
Pakistan does not covet Jammu and Kashmir. First, Pakistan wants the people of Kashmir on both sides, our side and your side, and in the whole Jammu and Kashmir, which your part is occupied part as per our narrative, as per our reality, as per the United Nations Security Council, as per Prime Minister Nehru's affirmations to the world that a plebiscite would be held. And before any of you goes down the path that forces had to be removed from Jammu and Kashmir state as a whole, uh, you conveniently forget that after the UN resolutions, there were 8 or 9 missions sent for demilitarization and holding of a plebiscite. Mr. Robin Dixon's mission and many other missions, and most of those missions said that Pakistan was willing to hold a plebiscite, to create conditions to hold a plebiscite, whereas India was not. Some of them resigned, some of them went away. So Jammu and Kashmir, we don't covet. It's a disputed territory. It's a one of the longest disputes, international disputes, which instead of solving it, you have further uh, taken control of it. There was a blackout for 1 year after August 2019. Children were picked up. There are massive human rights abuses in Jammu and Kashmir. If you go prior to that, there are mass graves, there are mass rapes, all 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 part of the various reports of the human rights commissions, which include the European Human Rights Commission. So we don't covet it, sir. You have occupied it, and it has to be resolved. It's a long-standing dispute that has been the cause of the conflict. So just conveniently saying we covet it, you have gobbled it, a place which was a people who were disputed, who needed their self-determination. Self-determination is something which is recognized in the world and international law. So kindly give the dispute holistically, not that Pakistan covets it.
It was not just a terrorist attack of somebody indiscriminately blowing up people with a bomb. It was a bunch of people going around identifying the religion of the people before them and killing them on that basis, which was clearly intended to provoke a backlash in the rest of India.
It was horrific. Pahalgam was horrific. I condemn it. I think my government has condemned it. It was horrific. We were appalled at this. But let's look at the potential culprits. So Hindus were, as you say, Hindus were targeted. So if you look internally, for the past 11 years, you have targeted Muslims. You have killed Muslims who have cows in their trucks, not taken for sacrifice, are browbeaten. I am going to show you videos of protests all over India due to anti-Muslim policies, due to anti-Muslim legislation. Your state has targeted one religion. So have you looked into the possibility of targeting and taking away the self-respect of a religion and somebody reacting to it? Have you looked into that possibility before pointing fingers at Pakistan? What is your evidence? You have absolutely no evidence. And Pakistan is on the right because Pakistan wants it investigated. Not by you alone, by a country, a third country. And that would clear doubts once and for all, and then reduce the chances of conflict between these two states. I don't want to use the word nuclear again and again. Conflict itself is very bad.
A group called the Resistance Front had claimed credit. The Resistance Front was known for some years to be a frontal organization of the banned proscribed Lashkar-e-Taiba, which is on the US designated terror list as well as the UN sanctions committees. And India had gone to the UN Sanctions Committee with information about the Resistance Front in 2023 and in 24, and now sadly it had acted in 25. They repeated their claim the next day until, of course, global condemnation, I think, woke their handlers up to the dangers as represented, and then they deleted their claim on the third day. But by then, the claim had been made, recorded, registered, and reported.
It's funny that you talk about the resistance front only partly. The resistance front, if at all something like that exists, was created according to internet sources in 2019 when you illegally gobbled up Jammu and Kashmir. You changed 35A, you abrogated 370, all promises made to the Kashmiri people. It was made then. Its leader, its members, its commanders, as per the internet, as per your websites, are all Kashmiri. They were born in Kashmir, in what we call occupied Kashmir. They were born there. None of them was born in Pakistan. They are citizens of Kashmir. They are your citizens. You have neutralized some of them. And When has this happened in history earlier, that a terrorist organization claims responsibility and then a day later it takes back responsibility, which actually means that just to blame Pakistan after, say, an hour of the attack or maybe even earlier, very conveniently, you had the resistance front claim responsibility, and when they woke up, they took back their responsibility. So instead of investigating where the website was, who was manning the website, which Pakistan demands, a forensic investigation into the claim and the counterclaim. The claim was through Telegram. What a strange way of claiming things. And then yourself, you said that probably Lashkar-e-Taiba is involved. And if Lashkar-e-Taiba is involved, Pakistan is involved. What strange logic. If I even accept that some parts of Lashkar-e-Taiba were involved, do you think they asked the government of Pakistan? Do you think the resistance front would ask the government of Pakistan? So look into your inner problems first. I'm not condemning India. We wish India well. But look at what you have done to the Muslims there. Look at these videos. First look there and look at the reaction from within India. Then the resistance front is all Indian, as per your definition of Jammu and Kashmir. Where does Pakistan come in? What is the forensic evidence of Pakistan's involvement? And that's why you are now struggling. The great India is struggling because you've started with the original sin. The original sin is a lie that Pakistan is involved.
Pakistan chose to follow its usual path of denial. In fact, Pakistan, with the help of China, succeeded in removing a reference to the resistance front from the resolution of condemnation that was drafted in the Security Council, the press statement actually, not resolution, in the Security Council of the UN.
Pakistan strongly denies any involvement, and all our efforts for the resistance front or other things were because that is also based on a lie. Because you're going to link what an indirect linkage. The resistance front is probably inspired by Lashkar-e-Taiba. Lashkar-e-Taiba is hosted in Pakistan. Therefore, Pakistan is to be hit. If we use the same logic, we would be hitting your cities every day. The TTP has links to India. At least Pakistan thinks so. So if Pakistan thinks so, should it attack you? The whole issue was you needed an excuse. You made a fake linkage to attack Pakistan because you thought, in all the hoopla and all the narrative, you thought that the Pakistani state is too weak to respond, and that like big giants, you would be able to say this is the new normal and all that. We were forced to give you a bloody nose. We're going to give you a bloody nose every time you attack us on fake premises. In any case, we will not tolerate the violation of our frontiers, our geographical integrity. We won't tolerate that. You cannot use an occupied state like Jammu and Kashmir, where you have after Palestine, you have the worst human rights record in the world, where 100,000 Kashmiris have been killed, mostly by your security forces. That you start blaming Pakistan.
The night of the 6th, 7th of May, it was 6th here, it was 7th for us, at 1:05 in the morning, a time chosen deliberately to avoid any risk of too many civilians wandering about or any collateral damage, very precise and calibrated strikes took place on 9 specific known terrorist bases, headquarters, and launch pads.
I really want to thank you for using your humanitarian time of 1:05. I think the children who were sleeping in the houses would have been asleep when your bombs hit them in residential areas, and your calibrated and your very effective strikes without any collateral damage. I'll tell you, I don't like the word collateral damage. I'll tell you, let me show you the faces of the Pakistanis who lost their lives. Women, children. Were these the terror launching pads? You hit residential areas to claim the next day that you had attacked terrorist infrastructure and all that. I'm afraid all that is not correct. Just look at these faces, sir. These children.
India hit 11 Pakistani military targets, including a rather well-known air base that's just 1.5 kilometers away from military headquarters of Pakistan in Rawalpindi.
From a diplomat and an eminent person of your caliber, one wants to hear at least partial truths. Why don't you tell them that when you violated Pakistan's sovereignty, Pakistan shot down your 5 planes? Or if you don't think they're 5, at least tell the number. We at least be honest about it. So previously too, when you did such an endeavor, let me say 6 years ago, because you unite history of decades in making a fake narrative. Then too we shot you up 2 planes. You know about Abhinandan, and of course we returned him. So this time we shot more planes, and then we also hit your targets. Tell the world about the brigades that you lost in AJK, and so let's be honest about.
And renewed sense of determination. There has now got to be a new normal. No one sitting in Pakistan is going to be allowed to believe that they can just walk across the border and kill our citizens with impunity. There will be a price to pay, and that price has been going up systematically. I'll just take you briefly through what happened. You may remember in 2015, well, you may not remember because this is our problem, not yours.
So let me tell you about Pakistan's new normal. If Pakistan's sovereignty is violated again, we will hit back. We will hit back similarly, and we will not tolerate any violation of our sovereignty. And we also don't have anything to do with you, let alone walk into your territory and kill your citizens. We also want to be left alone because we are stabilizing our economy and our country and taking it forward. We don't want to have inimical relations with you. So,
And our Prime Minister had just made a goodwill visit to Pakistan the previous month. On the 25th of December, he'd attended the birthday celebrations of then Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, whose granddaughter's wedding was on the same day. He'd given gifts.
thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your goodwill gesture. Pakistan has also made many goodwill gestures. But let me tell you that whenever India and Pakistan would try to come together, there would always be third parties or miscreants who would use an attack both in your country and in our country to disrupt peace. We've made this overture many times that such events should not displace the peace process between India and Pakistan. Genuine peace. A genuine peace talks, I mean, not talks about talks about talks. Genuine peace means that you discuss Jammu and Kashmir, and there have been proposals which have been a win-win situation. I could go on. In 2004, in the March of 1999, 2004 to 2007, there was a back channel that was going to end in a win-win situation for India and Pakistan, an end to terrorism, and a solution of the Jammu and Kashmir issue, which would not be against your narrative or against your position and against Pakistan's position, and would be in the middle. But all such initiatives were dashed to the ground when Prime Minister Modi came into power. From that point onwards, there has been conflict with Pakistan abroad, and there has been conflict with Muslims in India. So there would be consequences. You can't kill, maim, rape people, take away their rights, and expect that everything is good. And let me also tell you, tourism does not replace self-determination. If you would look at many independent anchors of Pakistan who went into J&K, they were told clearly by the people of J&K that tourism cannot replace their rights to self-determination and their rights to statehood and other things. So let's be honest about that. You can't gobble up you can't gobble up territory. You can't uh, totally take away all freedoms of its people, arrest 30,000 children, put them in various jails, including the Tharoor jail, and then expect the people to enjoy tourism. Good luck with that.
That Pakistani investigators are going to come to an Indian airbase, but they came. And they went back to Pakistan and said, oh, the Indians did it to themselves. That was the last straw.
So you want our investigators to go to Pathankot, and you are saying that it's kindness that you did or a concession that you did. We also made a concession by going into your country and investigating something that was probably not perpetrated by any Kashmiri group, but by I don't know who perpetrated it, but certainly it was not Pakistan. So they went in and they reached a conclusion. Now you want our investigators to go in and reach a conclusion that suits you, or reach the false conclusions that you have told your country for domestic purposes. The greatest harm that this government has done is by throttling the media in your country and by creating an anti-Pakistan sentiment.
And as you know, thereafter, the Pakistanis claimed not to know where Osama bin Laden was until he was found in a safe house right next to an army cantonment in a city dominated by the army. This is Pakistan, and I'm afraid for us.
Osama bin Laden, or as we call him, OBL, he was the head of Al Qaeda, right? Who smashed Al Qaeda in Afghanistan? Who smashed Al Qaeda in Pakistan? Who smashed Al Qaeda everywhere? The ISI, Pakistan's intelligence agencies, with US help. KSM, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Abu Zubaydah, Ramzi bin Shib, all Al Qaeda leaders were neutralized by us. So in one case, just as every intelligence agency in the world is caught napping, Pakistan was caught napping. But Pakistan smashed Al Qaeda in the world. And Pakistan did not create Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda was created by a pan Islamic thought outside of Pakistan, and Pakistan smashed Al Qaeda. While you're in the US, I would request you to talk to the US government and US agencies who were working with Pakistan to do so. But Pakistan is very proud to have smashed Al Qaeda.
In January of 2019, there was another terror attack in a place called Pulwama, killing 40 Indians at that point. And then India responded not just by breaching the line of control, but also breaching the international border and striking with our Air Force a known terror training camp in a place called Balakot.
Please also tell the world in detail about Pulwama. Pakistan had nothing to do with Pulwama. A boy who was born in Kashmir, he was ridiculed at checkposts every day in Indian occupied Kashmir. He was made to sit down. He was humiliated like all others are humiliated. So he hit on your military targets in militant jargon or in freedom fighter jargon. That's probably a legitimate target. We are not condoning it, and we really do consider it tragic that 40 of your soldiers lost their lives. But in terms of the Jammu and Kashmir conflict, he was born in your side of Jammu and Kashmir. He was humiliated daily in your side of Jammu and Kashmir. He was subjected to the same atrocities that women, children, and men in Jammu and Kashmir are subjected to. He decided to take revenge. He was not inspired by us. What have we got to do with it? So first, Pulwama was not done by Pakistan. One, as you wrongly allege, again it was an election ploy. Balakot. You hit some trees in Balakot. Your Air Force needs better training. You could have, I'm sure, hit a village and killed children, like the children I showed you just now, post Pahalgam, but you did not. And you forget to tell the world about Pakistan's response. You must tell the world about Pakistan's response because you want to create a fake history's narrative, and spread over decades, I'm afraid, and tell them that your planes were shot, that your pilot was caught, and the same happened every time. Come, attack us, we'll attack you with more force now. That's Pakistan's new normal.
We have not just crossed the LOC, we have also crossed the international border. We have hit Pakistan in their heartland. And we have done so, as I say, only to send a message about terror. We are not interested, and we still remain absolutely clear that we are not interested in warfare with Pakistan. We would much rather be left alone to grow our economy.
It's so sad to see a diplomat of your experience not understanding what happens when you cross the international border, when under fake pretext or under even right pretext. This is a totally fake pretext, as you just killed children and families, and some of them, most of them, unattached to anybody that you claim were terrorists. So you cannot cross international borders, and you did. If you hit our mainland, we also hit your mainland. If you do something against Pakistan, you will get twice the riposte this time. Next time, try it again. So we shot down your planes. We hit into your mainland, and we destroyed your brigades. Do you think it's all something to gloat about? All this is bad for Pakistan and it is bad for India. But for Pakistan, it's national pride and its right to respond will always be there, and we'll hit you harder next time.
We may be a status quo power, they are not. They are a revisionist power, they covet territory that India controls, and they want to have it at any price. And if they can't get it through conventional means, they're willing to get it through terrorism.
It's very convenient to occupy land, to occupy people, take away their rights, and become a status quo power. We have got nothing to do with the rest of India. Jammu and Kashmir is a disputed territory. So we don't covet it. We want its people to be economically prosperous, but also have the right to self-determination, which is as important as economic prosperity is. So the status quo power and revisionist power, if you occupy a country's land or if you occupy something which is not yours, there would be just forces wanting to change it. And Pakistan doesn't want to change it with terrorism. There was a time when the insurgency in occupied Kashmir was in full flow, with and even the new U.S. Assistant Secretary of State designate has written in the U.S. has written in his book that it was initiated by your wrong policies. So at that time, Kashmiris in your part of Kashmir, which you call your Kashmir, were in ferment.
We are determined now that there's got to be a new bottom line to this. We have tried everything, international dossiers, complaints to sanctions committee, diplomacy, even this joint investigation attempt, everything has been tried. Pakistan has remained in denial. There has been absolutely no conviction, no serious criminal prosecution.
This is again a fake history spread over decades. Before this current government came into power, there were talks between India and Pakistan and much development on the road to solving the Jammu and Kashmir issue. But this government is an external bully, as far as it and its neighbors are concerned. It's an internal bully as far as the Muslims and the Dalits of India are concerned, or other scheduled castes. Because of Hindutva and its wrong ideology, you are a bully internally and a bully externally. You're just using this fake quote unquote terrorism to bully Pakistan because that was part of the ideology of the ruling party. We refuse to be bullied. Your new normal will elicit a new normal from our side.